what's right. Walk, keep us on the road. Try to find what we had before. Get the spark, ignite, or is it gone? Won't you stop? Don't you shut us down. Speak before we hit the ground. Tell me now what's on your mind. I hear voices telling me you need to let him go. There's nothing there worth fighting for. I just need to know if one thing is true. Do you still love me like you used to do? What if they alright? Baby, can we still shine? Tell me that we'll be fine. Are we still alive? What if they alright? Baby, can we still shine? Tell me that we'll be fine. Are we still alive? Walk, turn around and walk away. It's the easiest way, they say, but I don't wanna give us up. Us to me, it will be the hardest thing.
3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. It's a new day, days been new. Been a decade since I made it out of rental. We some owners, baby, we don't got no rent due. Might trick, but my wife, you like to trick too. Merry Christmas, hey Saint Nick. What we want, get, we on wait list. How we got here doesn't make sense. Have patience, that'll make sense. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. Picking up the slack, joining this prime way, I'm getting to the rack. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, no cap. Put in all work, now I'm getting to the back. 25-8, I got money on my mind. Live life great, but I'm always on the grind. Navy blue tank, I don't wear it for the time. Real hustler, baby, throw my rollie in the sky.
Get ready for blast off.
Ball pointing cushy, so you know it's berserk. Trevor on the mix, so you know we gon' work. I might leave in one, find a beach and go surf. I'ma ride the wave till I'm out of this earth. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, I'm back again, man. Listen, I am so passionate about this, about what's happening in this country today, that we have to have a conversation. And I've been on this morning. And Miss Jenny, if you're not busy, I would love for you to cam up with me. That would be amazing. Matter of fact, let me put the link in the chat because I want people to come up here like they did today in our earlier show. We're gonna need to. When I have a free day, I'm going to commit my time to letting you guys know about Sister Harris and the murderer regime. But I would love to have you guys come up, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button when you come in. If you want to donate to the channel, please do so. You guys have been really helping with that since YouTube thought they could just get away with not letting me provide. So thank you guys for showing the love. You should see my Cash App scrolling in a few moments. There it is. Boom. All right. So thank you. If you do want to come up, it'll be in the chat in just a second. All right. Let's see. Yeah. But hey, let me see who I got here so far. I got Cortelia, always going to be here. I see that I got Miss Jenny in the building as well. Would love for you to come up. Let's see here. Dre, Blanchett just came in the building. Thank you so much for being here as well. Hey, y'all do me a favor. Take a moment, stop, and share this with a family member. Share the link with a family member and then share it on your social media so we can get some people in here because we got to start teaching this stuff. Most people are voting based on tradition and not voting based on the mission. You understand what I mean? So please just share this with somebody and tell them, hey, tune in. We're about to have a showdown in Black Men Unfiltered Town. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, I think I got it ready. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. It is in the chat. And it's pinned to the top of the chat. So moderators, while you're here, can you please direct those people to the top of the chat if they can't see it later on in the show? Oh, Miss Jenny said, Baby Jones isn't friendly. I'm sorry. Well, hey, listen, thank you for being in the chat and in the clouds, man. You know, what you being in the chat will help a lot as well. I was just out driving and I listened to a lot of other content creators to support them. But if you shout out to Hardly Initiated, they had Tiffany Montgomery on Hardly Initiated, and she alluded to some stuff. I mean, it was amazing. And I wanted to share it with you. It was so amazing. I said, let me go home and get this show going because people need to see this because it's amazing. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe button, donate to the channel right at the bottom of the screen. You'll see my Cash App. Thank you so much, Catelia. You're amazing. Embrace the Grace. Thank you so much. And guys, again, if you want to come up, the link is right there. I'd love to have a whole bunch of you guys come up. Right. I got 9 spaces. Come up, turn that camera on. Let us see your big, pretty face, your big, pretty smile, and we can talk for a while. All right. So let me go ahead and cue this video because I think it's important that we watch this in its entirety. And you may not agree with all of it, but what I found out is that in everything, there's something to learn, even if we don't agree with everything. All right. But this video just took me by storm. We're going to play and pause for copyright reasons. So for copyright purposes, I do have it listed in the description of this video, as well as saying it now, copyright. So let me cue the video up. We're going to watch it. Here we go. There we go. Now, as we watch this video, I want you guys to pay close attention to what we're watching here. When the video first starts off, they're going to give you a shout out again to Hardly Initiated. They're going to give you a little bit of what we're seeing here in the world today. And it just isn't right. Okay. So let me go ahead and hit play. And we'll stop it parenthetically throughout. Here we go.
Abortion rights advocates in Ohio erupted in celebration Tuesday night after the state voted to protect access to the procedure.
I was crying tears of complete joy and shock and just overwhelmed. I was just overwhelmed that we can actually affect change.
So this is the thing. I mean, did you see the one dude? He was like, yeah.
People crying tears of joy over abortions.
And that worries me. Now, I understand women's rights, but these people are celebrating
killing
babies.
Okay, well, you understand that that's not part of the women's rights, right?
So I need to understand.
But you do understand that the killing of babies is not the celebration of women's rights.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Women's right is the right to vote, the right to have a job, the right to be paid the same that a man is paid, the right to be able to go out and start your business or be whatever, but it is not the right to take another life.
But that's not how it's spoken about or marketed.
Well, it's not right, but maybe it needs to be better defined as to what,
I think that's intentional, right?
It is.
That's the propaganda. This is women's rights.
So from women, are y'all hearing this? I like that, Miss Jenny. Miss Jenny said, these are not women's rights. These are women's wrongs. Amazing, Miss Jenny. I love that. I love that. All right. So as we've heard so far, these women here, we can't say it's a racial thing. We can't say anything. Can't say it's a bias thing, because these are two women that are bipartisan to what's going on. However, these women are just telling you what it is. What did they just say? They just said that a woman's rights is not. It's not abortion. It's not taking the life of a child. That is not a woman's rights. A woman's rights is the ability to work, the ability to be paid the same wage as your male counterpart. A woman's rights has nothing to do with taking the life of a baby. Let me say it again for the people in the back. A woman's rights is not the ability to take the life of a baby. All right. So any woman that says we're out here for women's rights, no. Back to what Miss Jenny said, we're out here for women's wrongs. So I'm going to continue. Here we go.
Right.
So let me say this, right? In the Bible, there is a God named Moloch, lowercase g. Moloch is spoken about in the Old Testament, Old Covenant, and also in the New Testament, New Covenant. He's talked about in both covenants. Moloch was the god in the Bible that was assigned to kill your children as a sacrifice. Maybe you wanted more money, maybe you wanted love, maybe you wanted fame or fortune. You sacrificed this child. Well, you may say, well, Tiffany, I'm not doing it for this. Well, if you said I can't afford to have this baby, and you had an abortion, you sacrificed it for the money. If you say my career's really taken off and I can't really use a baby, you have now sacrificed your child for fame, influence, and to be well known. You did the same thing that they did in the Bible. Nothing is different. With that being said, there was always a consequence to the action. Now, we love to have this conversation. Well, Tiffany, God gave us free will, right? You agree with that? Mm-hmm. God gave us free will.
For sure.
The issue with free will, it's a beautiful thing. We thank God for free will. The issue with the conversation of free will is that free will is not free. Just like evil covenants cost. Yeah. The devil wants you to think that walking into a covenant with him is not costly. It's not expensive. It is. But one of the beautiful thing about God is he lays out his covenants precept by precept in the Bible. If you make covenant with me, this is all the good that's going to happen. If you break covenant with me, this is all the bad that's going to happen. The devil doesn't do that. He wants you to go into covenant in a dream, make you wake up, forget all your dreams, so you don't know what you did. He wants you to have sex. He wants things that happened to you when you were a child that you forgot about. You can't even break the covenant. He wants your parents to leave you, so you don't even know what your family was into because you were adopted in foster care, because the devil hides the covenant that you were in. With that being said, free will is very expensive, because no matter what the choice you make, it's always a consequence to that choice that you have to pay for. With that being said, the Bible says that the wages of sin are death. The wages of sin are death. If you are having sex with somebody and that is not your husband or your wife, it is fornication, which we have agreed that it means idolatry, which is a sin. That means that you can expect nothing but death. Now, you might not see physical death. Sometimes it's death of the relationship, death of your mental sanity, death of your life, because now you got to do this by yourself because they're going to leave you. But most cases it's abortion. I don't want to do this. I don't like him or her anyway. I'm going to have to do this by myself. I'm going to kill this thing because that was the price you paid for your free will decision. That price did not come for free. What that means is now what's on your life is a spirit of abortion, or in other words, the demonic covenant with Moloch that you are now covenanted yourself to. Everything you touch is aborted. You're right at the brink of breakthrough. True. And it has aborted itself.
Y'all watching the same thing I'm watching. Y'all are watching the same thing that I'm watching. If she ain't cooking with good grease, she cooking with Crisco. This ain't great value. It is all a sin, Anissa. It is. But taking the life of a baby, I want us to stop here parenthetically and just go into our Bibles and our books just for a moment and stop talking off what we think and read what is written about what God says. And I think she's going to allude to it in a minute, about what God says about his love for children. how he created them, and he knew them before they knew themselves. He knew them before they were conceived, and how important it is to have children. God gave women the ability to have children. God created man, and from man, from the dust he created man, and from the rib he created the woman. I asked a question today, and a family member of mine got angry. I said, if you list all the things under Trump and you list all the things under Kamala, what she believes and what she's pushing forward, if God had to vote for someone, right? God can't say, nah, neither one. I'm talking about if God had to vote for one. In the chat, let me know, who do you think right now out of the two candidates who are very imperfect, both of them are very imperfect, both of them have ignorant moments, but as far as their morals and values and what they believe, who do you think God would vote for? Put it in the chat. I want to see what you guys think. Who, he has to pick one. You can't say neither. He has to pick Kamala, or he has to pick Donald. Who is God picking? Who is he going to vote for? If God came down in the form of man, who would he vote for? You can't say neither on this. I just gave those instructions. If you try, I don't want to wait. These are open-ended questions so I can get open-ended answers. I want to know who God would vote for. He has to choose one. There's no such thing as neither. Take neither out of the equation. Look up what Donald Trump is standing for in this election, who is also imperfect, and then look up Kamala Harris, what she's pushing in her agenda under what she's trying to do as president, and tell me, who would God vote for? If he had to choose. Now, Melissa, I understand what you're saying, because over here we don't block people, right, for being disrespectful. However, if you would love to cam up, guys, and this, all of you guys, if you're not doing anything and you sit back at home and you're relaxing with your feet up, I would love to have an adult conversation with you guys on the panel, or you can stay in the chat, whichever one you choose. However, it is at the top. It is at the top of the chat, the link. Andre Terry said Harrison Waltz, 100% us. Harris, Andre, I would love for you to hit the link. You a man, so men are not spineless. So if you are available, sir, hit the link, and I want you to come and tell me why God will vote for a woman who pushes killing babies, and tell me why he would vote for a woman who wants to transition. You got to turn your camera on, Melissa, and wants to transition women to men and men to women. Can somebody tell me, can somebody give me that insight? Why would God choose to vote for someone who wants to exterminate his creation? Right? This country is based off of the religion of God as the mirror through Jesus, right? Because the Bible, even in our structural foundation here in America, what does it say? In God we trust. What does it say? I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. God bless America, land that I love. When we go into the president being selected, he puts his hand on the holy word, the Bible. And what does he say? I, Donald J. Trump. I, Kamala Harris. Everything has a foundation. Right? So we're going to get more into it. And this says, in the U.S., everyone is not a Christian. What about those who don't believe as you do? Doesn't matter. The disbelief in God is an out for people to be able to mentally disregard what it is that God wants. How could you, if you don't believe in God and you're not a Christian, why are you spending the dollar? Why aren't you in a cabin in the mountains somewhere, cutting your own wood, killing your own animals and eating them, instead of taking a dollar that represents God, or under a let's see, an amendment or laws that are based solely and foundationally under God. So if you're not a Christian, it is hypocritical to make the money here. It's hypocritical to say in God we trust. It's hypocritical to put your hand over your chest and say, I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. It is hypocritical to stand for the United States flag, put your hand over your chest, and salute to a country who is foundationally under God. So I when it comes to what you're saying, Anissa, in the U.S., how everyone is not a Christian, what about those who don't believe as I do, where you must believe it if you're living in a country under the belief of Christianity? The back of the dollar that does not say in Buddha we trust. It says in God we trust. We don't do the I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under Buddha. We say one nation under God. We don't pull out the Quran, right? I believe that it will even be controversial, and I believe the world will go nuts. The world will simply go nuts if someone pulled out a Quran. If Obama was Muslim and he pulled out the Quran to put his hand on it to be sworn in as president, people would have shit on themselves. You know why? Because the country is not founded on the Quran and the Muslim belief. It is founded on the belief of God and through his son, Jesus Christ. This is a fact. Now, Anissa, you're going to move the goalpost, which I love you for, right? Because I'm going to talk about all of it. Exactly. Ricky Williams, if you're not doing anything, sir, the link is at the top of the chat. Would love to have you, brother. And if you don't see it at the top of the chat, you can't get to it, I'll send it to you directly. Boss man, if you're available, you can come up as well. But going back to what Anissa said, then I'll answer some more questions. So we'll get back to the video. We have freedom. Anissa says, I'm gonna go to the first one she says first. She said, they don't say, who is this in the back? Superman Black. Hey, listen, when you come on my panel, you got to turn your cameras on, because if your camera, when you come up here, you're gonna have to show yourself. So if you're not gonna show your face, you got to go back to the chat. I'm sorry. But when you come up here, you stand on business. I'm standing on business right now. You see my face. So when you turn your camera on, I'll bring you up. If you can't turn your camera on, I'm sorry. But again, back to what I was saying. Back to what Anissa was saying. She said the same country, this is when she moved the goalpost on us. She said the same country that enslaved you and only let you go to fight a war. Yes, this country did enslave us. Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China. Because now we're not enslaved. We have a right to keep a witch out of office. Because I have a question for you in the chat, guys. Anissa, this is for you, and I want the chat's going to help you because you're a Christian. So it's hard for me to believe that you're okay voting for a woman who wants to kill children. So I want to say this in the chat. I really want to hear what you guys' thoughts are for Anissa. Now, this is for Anissa. We got to help our sister out here. All right. Can we help Anissa out? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that abortion is murder. Okay, turn your camera on, Truth. I gotta have your camera on. You can come up, but I need your camera on. We got different rules over here. I done got YouTube and played me so much. I need everybody to be cammed up when they come up here, brother. So comb your hair, comb out your beard, and come on up here and don't be weird. Let's go. So right. So Anissa, if you don't have a dog in the fight, then why are we? So look at all the ones. They're trying to help you here, Anissa. If abortion is murder and the death of a child, to the decision making of a woman, then we must understand if it's murder, it is wrong. Right now, if I go out and I shoot someone, they die, that is murder. I go suffer the consequences and I go to jail. Right? If I run over someone in my car and they don't make it, and I keep going, that's vehicular homicide. That is considered murder. I go to court, I go to jail. So why isn't taking a tool, a metal tool, and going up the vaginal course of a woman and poking the brains out of a child not disgusting, evil, demented, satanic, and evil and murder? I don't understand how Christian people such as yourself, Anissa, right, could be okay with voting for a woman who wants that. She said, and I quote, "My first day in office, I'm going to reinstate Roe v. Wade to give women back their rights to cut the throats of their children." Right. And I understand what you're saying, boss man, and you're more strict on what the law says. I'm talking about morality, right? Because I'm going to go deep here. As a man, I say, for instance, my wife gets pregnant. I don't want the baby. She has the baby anyway. I take a 357, go in the room and say, "Bow, I'm going to jail." It is the same thing when you go inside of a woman and cut the life off of a child. It is murder. I don't care about the law. It used to be law that it was okay for slaves. Laws are nothing to me. It used to be legal by law to own human beings and beat the shit out of them and swing them from trees and nothing happened. That was a law. It doesn't make it right. Slavery was horrible for Black people. It was horrible. Guys, if I'm wrong, put a 2 in the chat. If I'm right, put a 1 in the chat. Because I want to be able to connect with you guys tonight. Y'all keep the comments coming. I want to be able to address them as we go through this video. Right? Also, right now, if you guys are here right now, please donate to the channel. Help the channel out, right? I always say we need 10 people to give $10, and we're good. And that'll post the show for tonight, right? Because we want to make sure we keep this channel going with 10 shows running 7 days a week. We want to make sure that we keep some financial aside from what I already make, right? But I want to make sure, aside from what I make as an individual in the workforce, I want to be able to use what I make here to keep these shows going. So guys, I need 10 people to give $10. You see the cash up at the bottom. As you guys donate, I will definitely call you out and make sure people know that you are amazing for sending donations. All right. I appreciate it. All right. So it doesn't make, even though the law says women are able to do this, and when the laws have critiqued the way things look to make abortion look okay, it doesn't mean it. Slavery was okay. It was legal. Slavery was legal. The cruelty of slavery, when they castrated men and they cut open women, that was legal because it was your property. Okay. So that's the point that I'm making. Just because the law says it's okay doesn't make it right. Right? Anissa, I would love for you to have your pretty face in the place. Okay. But the nation that we're in right now, if you go to Washington, D.C., for me, a person that is reading things and I understand things and I process things differently. Even when I went to Washington, D.C., and I looked at the monuments, and I see all around, I see black manipulation all over Washington, D.C. I see all the monuments who were built by Black people, and I see the the Lincoln Monument. I see the Franklin Monument. I see all these covered monuments. Then you get to Martin Luther King's monument. There's no covering. There's no guard guarding it. Right? There's no guard guarding it. You go to Abraham Lincoln, they got a fucking red thing going around Lincoln. The guy sitting there, armed guard sitting there. You go to Martin Luther King. He's the only statue, memoriam in Washington that is uncovered, as far as having a covering over it and uncovered by guards. When I was there, maybe they have it now, maybe not. But when I went, there was no guards there. Right? It's not covered by man or by structure. Everything else was. And I've seen all this free labor. Right? Now keep in mind, we're the laziest people. We lazy. Black people are lazy. We ain't shit. We don't do nothing. We're horrible. But when you go to these places and you see all these different monuments and you see all these different things, Black people did that. It was us. All right, so let me get back to the show. Truth, I'm sorry, brother, because things have happened since the last time you were over here. So I definitely made it a rule that everybody had to cam up. So I appreciate you being here, brother. And just let me know what you want in the chat. All right. Hey, we got to be professional over here moving forward. So we got to see everybody's face. Guys, if you want to come up, please, it's at the top of the chat if you want to come in. Yes, Anissa, laws mean something if you break them. The point that I'm making, Anissa, because I want you to stay on task here. The point that I'm making is just because it's a law does not make it right. Because I gave the analogy of slavery was something that was put into law that men could grape women, they could castrate men, right? They could sodomize men in front of their children, and they could do all of that under the law legally. It was a law. So so just because they make it a law, just because a bunch of white men in a room get together and sign something into law does not make it right. Just like the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence got a room full of white men signing some up. And guess what? When they did the Declaration of Independence, guess what? They did not have me in mind. They did not have you in mind if you're of color. It was a selfish gathering of men who sat down and came up with an agreement. And it had nothing to do with us. Absolutely zero. And the thing that makes me cringe the most is when I see Black people get on these panels, or Black people on national TV or The View. When I hear Sonny Hostin say, our founding fathers. What? It's like she's saying white daddy. It's an equivalent to saying white daddy. I'm going to get back to the video because I don't want to veer too far off away from the video. Let's get back to it. Here we go.
You are always starting things, but you never finish them. Well, Tiffany, I've never had an abortion. That sounds like me. Then your mother and father did. And guess what? The covenant still stands. Just because your mother and father died, or your your parents died, doesn't mean the covenant dies. The covenant is alive until you wake up and break the covenant. Free will is not free. So we love to have this conversation, and it's sickening that believers and leaders are having a conversation that free will is something that is okay to do in the area of abortion. Because if that's the case, why don't you let these pedophiles have the free will to molest whoever they want to molest? Why are there laws put in place that they cannot do that? We have free will. We want to go with that argument. Why haven't you put the murderers back out? They have free will to kill whoever they want to kill. Let the chips fall where they may. So the conversation doesn't really make sense when you put all of that out on the table. Rapists, they should have free will to rape whoever they want to rape. Let them out of jail. Let them do their thing. Who are you to say it's wrong? Who are you to take the right away from a man who wants to rape a child, a woman, or another man? Who are you to do that? Let this person do what they want to do because they have the free will. You see how stupid that sounds? It sounds ridiculous. With that being said, does God care about babies? Let's go to the Bible. In the book of Luke, chapter 1, the Bible says that when Elizabeth was pregnated with John the Baptist, God says that this baby is filled with the Holy Ghost while he's in the womb. That means that in the womb, he is pregnated with John the Baptist. It sounds ridiculous. Who are you to take rape whoever they want to rape? The murderers back out. They have free will to kill whoever. Pedophiles have the free will to molest believers, and leaders are having a conversation.
Okay, now I want to take that back. She made a point, and I want us in the chat and anybody that wants to come up here, please, to let's argue that point. If God gave us free will, then why are and y'all saying that abortion is free will? Then hold on just a second. I'm gonna let you up in just a second, my brother. I see you. My brother in the back, guy. So if God gave us free will from a believer standpoint, did you hear what she said? Just because she mentioned it, I'm gonna play it again because I don't want to run over what she said. I'm gonna let it play again. Here it is.
Conversation that free will is something that is okay to do in the area of abortion. Because if that's the case, why don't you let these pedophiles have the free will to molest whoever they want to molest?
Is she making a point? Put a 1 in the chat, guys.
Why are there laws put in place that they cannot do that? We have free will. We want to go with that argument. Why haven't you put the murderers back out? They have free will to kill whoever they want to kill. Let the chips fall where they may. So the conversation doesn't really make sense when you put all of that out on the table. Rapists, they should have free will to rape whoever they want to rape. Let them out of jail. Let them do their thing. Who are you to say it's wrong? Who are you to take the right away from a man who wants to rape a child, a woman, or another man? Who are you to do that? Let this person do what they want to do because they have the free will. You see how stupid that sounds? It sounds ridiculous. With that being said, does God care about babies? Let's go to the Bible. In the book of Luke, chapter 1, the Bible says that when Elizabeth was pregnated with John the Baptist, God says that this baby is filled with the Holy Ghost while he's in the womb. That means that in the womb, he is filled with the Spirit of God. His identity was already set. He will not drink alcohol. He will turn fathers back to the sons, sons back to the fathers. This is what he will do. This was all said while he was in the womb. Let's take it to Jeremiah chapter 1. He said, before you were formed, I sanctified you.
Yes.
Before you were in your mother's womb, I did
knew
that.
You.
Then when you got in your mother's womb, I ordained you a prophet. So what it sounds like is the agenda of genocide on babies. The agenda of genocide on babies, which means that we'll just use those two examples. If John the Baptist was filled with the Holy Ghost in the womb, and if Jeremiah was sanctified before he was in the womb and ordained as a prophet while he was in the womb, we have to consider those two people the church. Because God's ecclesia is not just the four walls of a church. It is called out ones. It is people that are God's church. With that being the case, there's got to be a reason why these people are hell-bent on killing the church in the womb. This is a genocide. This is a mass extermination. Anybody that is in agreement with abortion, I don't care whose free will it is, has now likened themselves unto Hitler. So I don't.
Now, I want to bring up my brother from another mother. He's in the building tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your damn hands together for my light-skinned friend, my brother from another mother. Damien is in the building tonight, man. I want to make sure I get my sound effects ready for my brother. All right, let me get you over here. Hold on just a second. Let me pull you on this side. All right, there you go. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? How's the family? What's going on?
Everybody's good. We're good. Family's good. It's good.
Good, man.
Good. How's everybody on your side doing, brother?
You missed a good, man. Good, man. You missed a hot one last night, brother.
Oh, it's Friday. It's date night. I'm out with the wife on Fridays.
Okay, I got you. But last night, boy, it was. You got to go back and watch it. It was on fire last night, brother.
All right, I'll check it out.
But yeah, man. So I'm glad you're here, man. I know you been watching for a little bit.
I caught some of it, but then I had to do some stuff, so I missed it. The last thing you asked, and I thought was an interesting premise, was if God came down, who would he choose? Who would he vote for? That was interesting.
Yeah. All right. So did you just hear this clip from this lady?
I caught you played it the second time and I caught it.
Okay. Good. So you know, what are your thoughts, man? I think you have children as well. So I think that when I look at my babies, I cannot just see my wife going to a doctor without me knowing, because she don't have to tell me anything or let me be privy to any information. Remember, it's her body, her choice, right?
Yeah.
And she can just go, and I look how precious my babies are. And just to know that my babies would have got stabbed to death with a tool and drained out my wife, it just does something to me, bro. And this is why I can't get on board with Kamala at all. Based on those facts alone, that the women, I mean, we as Black people, we're 23 million babies into abortion. We are more, and that's why the statistics are so high. Black women have deleted more babies than every death in every war combined. They have deleted more babies than Hitler deleted the little hat people. This is bad. And if you look at this is really, really bad. We have taken out a majority. We have taken out 20. Imagine if you add 23 million more Black people to the population of America today. What would we look like? 23 million gone. And that's the ones that's counted. We're not talking about the clothes hanger babies, or the ones that drank poison, or the ones that did all that stupid shit. So you could probably add another 2 million to that. So what are your thoughts, man? Talk to me.
I mean, if we could do it we can go either way. We can go on the so it didn't seem like you were going too much on the religious implications of it. I'm just saying, if we had 23 million more people, what have you ever seen, I'm from Oakland. I used to work in I was a big part of the organization, got 100 Black men, and we used to go to schools and mentor young brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And have you seen what it's like when the hardships and the stuff that people go through, like unwanted kids who just have nobody, who are unwanted, who are in the system, who are their future is kind of like set for them. Crack babies, all this kind of stuff like that. Their future is kind of already lined out, that they probably most likely will end up in the system, probably will most likely commit crimes, probably will likely be on government assistance, probably will likely just keep the cycle of dysfunction and crime and going in the community. So what happens is, you got to take the other side. If you're like, okay, cool. If everybody would have had all these babies, I guarantee you there would have been an epidemic of unwanted, unloved, uncared for, low self-esteem, mentally unstable children out there who would have just probably been the downfall of not just the Black community, but just of most community, society as a whole. There would have been some real negative repercussions of having these kids and having them out there unwanted, unloved, provided for. So that's just the economic implication of just having too many babies. I mean, because like for example, I know you in Texas, like I am in Texas, even though it's a small percentage, they did say it was something like 16,000 children have been born from assault since the ban on the 6 weeks abortion thing. So, if these kids are unloved, and what's the likelihood of these kids who've been more from this kind of situation being loved and cared for and valued and being a real positive to the community? It's probably kind of low.
Right. Well, and I'm gonna push back on that, because I think that, for me, from a biblical perspective, he said all children are promised from him, who he has set out to the parents. Also, kids they're amazing. And I think that if we don't want the abortion rate to continue, and I want to pull up what Bossman said. Bossman says, I wouldn't want a woman having a child who didn't want a child. So therefore, we should tell the women, stop fucking. If you don't want a child, my thing is this: what's the difference? If you're going to have sex, look down at the penis and say, no, You need to put something on that catches the thing that get me pregnant, so we won't get pregnant. So if we're going to do this, I need you to put a condom on. And if you do that, I promise you there will be no immaculate conception. You will not get pregnant. So to see women, it was almost, I heard somebody say today, 2,563 abortions a day. That's a lot of unprotected sex. That's a lot of irresponsible people. And if I'm irresponsible and I go into a public place and shoot up a public place, they're going to arrest me and throw me in jail. The consequences of a woman going out being sexually promiscuous is that she could just go kill it and go home and sleep like a baby.
Yeah, I don't agree with using it as in terms of birth control.
Yeah, I remember you saying it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really strong where that's why I lean type to a little bit conservative when it comes to, like, if you can have maybe one could be like a mistake, or if it's not from somebody assault or incest or something like that, or you're not gonna be in danger, maybe you can have one. But then after that, your doctor needs to sit down. You need to have go through some kind of like courses, or they need to talk to you. You need to go through something. You need to get something that you need to do to realize the repercussions and realize this is not a thing you want to use as birth control. I'm all for that.
Okay, go ahead.
But let me finish the statement. But like you were saying, it's all those people who have this abortion. If these women didn't want them and they are forced to have them, what type of parent are they really going to be? I mean, come on now. They're going to resist. Can you imagine you, a woman of SA or incest or something like that, or you just with somebody who's treated you bad, and what you call it, you don't want to have ties to them, and you don't want to have the child, and you have it. What's the likelihood of you taking out your frustration on that child, which can, abusive child, neglect of the child, or what have you, creating a cycle of dysfunction and criminality and stuff like that? You could be creating something. You'd be put in a situation in a worse situation because you were forced to. That's kind of feel on just that.
So how do you feel about this? I want to get your thoughts on this real quick. Anybody wants to come up, guys, thank you for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe button. You can donate to the channel at the bottom right here. Show the channel some love. If you want to come up, the link is at the top of the chat. Please come in and turn your camera on, and we'll have a good conversation. What if we made it mandatory for all women to be on contraceptives until they decide they want to have children, and it has to be approved by a doctor to do so?
Yeah, but that's tough because there's a lot of women who can't be on specific contraceptives because it's like, I've known a lot of women who can't because physically they can't. Just there's some messes with their hormones or body chemistry and stuff like that. They can't. So that would be tough. And at what age do we do? Like, say for example, you put kids are having sex earlier. So what are you gonna put a 14-year-old on something like that?
They're doing
and like I said, and what's the could it possibly mess up her hormones and like mess her development into a woman kind of situation? It's like all kinds of things that could happen if you start too early. And that's when like people start really starting to try to develop, their sexual proclivities, the stuff sex really start developing in, 13, 14 years old and stuff like that.
So let me ask you, what age do you think they're starting the children on with their hormone blockers?
I mean, that's a different topic. I feel like, hold on. I feel like, but that's a conversation that's had for a couple of different reasons. Like, don't get me wrong. Here's me leaving to the conservative. I don't feel nothing should happen to a child as far as that could alter their natural development till the age of 18. Then when they're adult, and then they can make the choice for themselves or what have you like that. I think a lot of people do it in these rare cases, these really rare cases, if they feel like there's a mental aspect to where it's some people would be like, I would rather, be okay with this and keep my kid alive as opposed to them feeling a certain kind of way and them unalive themselves because they feel like they feel like they're weird or odd or nobody understands them or alone. And then I was watching this thing and it was like saying, do you want to understand? You may not understand, but I'm sure you'd rather have your kid alive than them feeling a certain kind of way, going to depression and delete themselves because they feel like nobody is understanding and we're given the opportunity to.
And you saying this from a perspective of why they're on the blockers, or are you saying?
I'm saying it's just like I think that's why in the rare instances that it does happen that it's okay and people put it. I don't think it happens as much as people think. I really don't think it happens as much as people kind of assume it does. I mean, there's probably discussions, but it actually happened. I think you got to go through a lot to actually get on this situation to get and start the process.
Now I have a video that I did a past show about 7 months ago, because we've been on this journey a while. About 7 months ago, we had a doctor who actually gives the blockers to children. And the guy who was interviewing her said, "What age do you start?" And she said, whenever the child says, "I don't want to be a boy anymore. I don't want to be a girl anymore." And she said the ages will start from 10 years old and up. And she said, I've given and prescribed those blockers to children 10 years old and up.
Yeah, if there's not some kind of medical reason, like realistic medical reason, if there's some kind of like mutation, like hermaphrodite or something like that, or there's something like that, I don't agree with that at all.
Okay. All right. So me and you on the same page with that. So I want to add to that though. So if you start giving that 10 to 12-year-old those blockers, just because they say they don't want to be a boy or girl anymore, then why not just do the same thing with girls who, when they get their period and they become a woman, because that's what women say. When you get your period, you become a woman. Why not, when she get a period, why not put her on birth control?
Like I said, I don't know I'm not a doctor. I don't know the medical implications. I know a girl who was on birth control, but she was in her 20s and it did something to her hormones. It like messed her up a little bit to where she had to, when she wanted to have a kid with her husband, she had to have like IVF and all this. She had to go through a lot of different stuff in order to have a baby when she was ready to with her husband.
So it's her body, her choice.
No. I feel like this. I feel there needs to. I wouldn't like I said, there's certain things that kids don't understand the repercussions of and the ramifications of. So I think there needs to be a significant amount of therapy and discussions and stuff like that, and have a full understanding of what's happening, what the repercussions is, and to know that things are, and that how the societal view of it and what have you like that is. So I think there's a lot that need to go into if they're going to go that route. Right. But like I said, if you just wake up one day and say, you know what, being a girl sucks. I think I want to try being a boy. I'm not for that. I'm not for you. I'm like, if you're 18, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
But as a child, I'm not with any of that outside of. But I think that's a discussion between the parent, the child, and that doctor. I don't think I should necessarily have a say that you can't do it or that you should do it.
Right. Now, I was going somewhere with that. Let me walk to where I was going. Because when it comes to a woman, they say my body, my choice, all this, we could, they put them on blockers at 10 and 12, but then they won't say, oh, you're trying to control, you're imposing on their rights and trying to put them on mandatory.
It's a child, it ain't a woman. It ain't a woman, it's a child.
Right.
That my body, my choice, like I said, should go for women, not not females. I think it should go for women. That's right. What I'm saying. My point.
Exactly. And my point I'm making is, we had something happen a few years back called C-19. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a goddamn what your medical history was. Everybody got the same shot. They didn't know if that shot was going to make your blood pressure shoot up, your diabetes act up. What some women right now says from the shot right now, saying that they're sterile from taking the C-19 shot.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It was mandatory. You could lose your job, your livelihood, your money. You couldn't go to work. You couldn't go nowhere. Some places you had to show that you had the shot before you even walked through the door. Right? It was mandatory. You either take it or lose everything. It was mandatory to do that. Why can't we do birth control the same way to save all these babies from dying?
Well, the difference between a vaccination and a medical and a birth control pill, there's a vastly different things to the body. A vaccination, I don't believe in. There was a lot of like misinformation out there about like it caused sterility and all that kind of stuff. There was no evidence to show any of that stuff. You know, people who do this stuff are the same people who make, you know, flu vaccinations and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of people want to blame things that might happen to them around the same time they do stuff like that on stuff like that. Like, for example, I knew somebody whose kid was born, who was diagnosed not as autistic at the age of 4, and they got the vaccinations and whatever. And the first thing they wanted to do was like blame the vaccinations on the fact that their child was autistic. And I was just like, there's no direct correlation with that. But people just kind of want to have some reason why. That's one thing about human nature. We want to know why things happen to us. And sometimes my view of it is just, why not? Why? It's just you the lucky, or in life, you're the lucky one or the unlucky one who stuff happens. So I feel like, to just go back to your point, it was just like, I feel like there's a vast difference between a shot to inoculate you against a specific virus and something that directly is designed to affect hormones and changing and imbalances and stuff like that.
Now, I will say this, and hey, Miss Jenny, I will say this. I want to address Anissa, because I'm addressing people in the chat as well. Anissa said, why not just sterilize men? Well, if you do your research, Anissa, because I know you like to do research first, but you didn't do it on this one, so let me help you. When a man goes to get a vasectomy and he get those things curled up, tied up, and snipped, and he goes back and have them reversed, the percentage of him being able to procreate again is very slim to none.
Yeah, it's like 10%.
10%. So even if he goes back to get it reversed to start a family, he may not be ready he may not have no kids, because it's 10%. It's at 10% of men who want to get a reversal can be able to have kids again. But if you put all girls on birth control, you'll stop birth, right? Because if we can give a C19 shot to everybody to make it mandatory, I didn't get it. But if you can get C19 shot to everybody to make it mandatory, then you should be able to give birth control shots every time they need one to keep young ladies who seem they want to go be sexual beings, keep them from being pregnant. But, you know, hey, that's neither here nor there. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts, sweetheart? How are you tonight?
I was feeling really sick earlier, but I've been sitting on my exercise ball, and that's been making me feel better. And I just love this topic. Anywhere I can find a conversation about abortion, I make a beeline. Right. And so I guess I'm here to represent the most radical stance on this, because I'm completely 100% against abortion in all instances, for any reason, at all stages. You know, just, it should be illegal. The mothers should be given the absolute, throw the book at them, the doctors as well. Everybody involved should be going to jail, as far as I'm concerned, because it's murder.
Damien, what do you have to say to what you just said?
That's pretty radical. That's very extreme. Like,
man.
But BMU, you I think did you hear about in Texas when a young mother just died because the procedure that they needed was technically fall under the umbrella of abortion, so they couldn't give it to her when she developed sepsis and died because she had some type of situation going on because she was going into pre-labor, and they did something like that.
Yeah, let me clear it up. They gave her the abortion pill. The pill did not work.
Mm-hmm.
Baby said, I want out. Baby, she goes to the doctor. They said, no, we're not about to give you an abortion because you took the pill. This is the result of you taking an abortion pill, ma'am. So under the statute of the abortion plan, we're not going to touch you.
Yeah, but at some point it got to the point where she developed sepsis, where at that point they could have done some interventions that would have saved her life if it didn't fall under.
But they would have had to do the abortion. They would have had to take the baby.
Yeah, they would have had to complete the thing that she was legally trying to start. The abortion pill is still legal. So she was trying to do something legal, and it was something was going wrong with it. So they said, "Oh, you were trying to do something legal. Now there's something medically wrong with you. We can't save your life because of some of the things, the laws that are in place right now."
So, Miss Jenny, as a woman, because I want you to be able to say it first. I'm not a woman. What are your thoughts on that? Her taking a birth control pill. Taking a abortion pill. It did not work. Baby wants out. Then she goes to the doctor. They say, "No, we're not doing abortions here. This is Texas. We're not taking the baby." And she develops sepsis and she dies. What are your thoughts?
I think that if you play stupid games, then you win stupid prizes. And so I absolutely have no sympathy for that woman, because if I run into somebody's house and try to rob them and try to shoot them and they shoot me, and I go to the hospital and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I need surgery because someone shot me." And they're like, "No, we can't serve you because you're a burglar." What am I going to say? I shouldn't have been in there in the first place. So she had no business trying to murder her child. And so it's unfortunate that they both had to perish.
Miss Jenny, are you pro-life or anti-abortion?
I'm both.
I don't know, because you just said so bad. So you show no concern for the life of the mother. So if you could say there's a difference, I think there's a difference between being pro-life and anti-abortion, because a lot of people might be anti-abortion, but they ain't pro-life. But you sound like I feel like if you have the sentiment, well, bad, too bad for her, I feel like that's a anti-abortion sentiment, not a pro-life sentiment, because you still want somebody to live if you're pro-life, regardless.
Well, I'm very much in favor of capital punishment. I believe in the death penalty for criminals. And so wanting to kill
Sorry, I'm sorry, I want to interrupt.
No, you're good. There might be a lag. But yeah, I mean, so what she did was objectively wrong. She tried to kill her child and she perished as a result of that. And so if you're doing something wrong, the consequences that you get in exchange for that, you deserve. And so I'm not going to feel sorry for people that, they slip and fall when they're trying to rob a bank, or, I don't know. I mean, if someone tried to kidnap, someone's kid, and then they, get into a car accident and they die. I mean, okay, like, am I supposed to shed a tear for this person? Like, I think it's horrible what they tried to do. And so there are many such cases of women like her. But one thing I do want to add as a caveat is that in a lot of these cases where these pro-choice people, they'll say that, oh, this person, they wanted to get an abortion because it was for a life-saving measure, and then they couldn't, and then they died or they got really sick, when in reality, the child was already dead. They had a miscarriage, and they go to the doctor to get the already dead baby removed, and they can't. And that's no pro-life laws on the books prohibit that. And so that's just misinformation. And so I didn't know if that was that scenario. It sounds like it's not, but I just wanted to get ahead of that, because that's a whole separate thing.
Right. Yeah, and real quick, 18, hold that real quick, Dame, just 1 second.
Okay.
I want to address 18 because I don't want misinformation. I want to be able to address what I see that stands out the most. Anissa says that all men should get vasectomies. I addressed it, but 18 says, I'm with you. Women, she said, I agree. Why can't men have a vasectomy? It's easier than any surgical procedure a female would have to endure. 18, I love you, baby, but I'm gonna have to disagree again, because any man, you have to start at an age where you're going to do vasectomies on little boys. And if that little boy gets that vasectomy at 14, when he starts being sexually active at 14 years old, and he wants to start a family at 22, the chances of him being able to conceive a child after that many years is at 10%.
Yeah,
10%. So you may not even be able to have a child because the reversal may not even work.
Yeah, and the longer you wait, like if he's 14, but then he want to have one at 8, the longer it decreases the likelihood of you being able to reverse it. Because I've had one. I got one.
Yeah, so he may be sterile for life.
Yeah, but I just want to but I feel like you're doing something unfair. It's like you're attaching criminality. You said, what if I rob a bank? What if I do that? She wasn't committing a crime. It's legal what she was doing. It may not morally be, we're not talking about morality to your moral standard, but it was legal to do what she was doing. So we can't, I don't feel like it's unfair to criminalize this woman when she wasn't a criminal. She was doing something you don't agree with for moral reasons, but she wasn't committing a crime. She was doing what the law allowed, and it went bad, and the law prevented people from saving her it's I just feel like it's not fair to try to criminalize she was a victim as well.
I mean, Black Man Unfiltered, he was kind of going about that earlier, you know, about the differences between morality and legality. And I side with him, and it's like, you know, what the laws on the books are irrelevant to right and wrong. And so objectively, you know, according to the perfect standard of God's word, what she did was wrong. And so that might have just been his will, that's the way that she received her punishment, you know? And so I think that, yeah, legally speaking, it may have been justifiable, but, you know, laws are corrupt all the time. And so that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I was also saying earlier that just because something is law does not make it right. Because slavery was once legal.
I agree with that. Morality and legality doesn't necessarily mean the same thing in a lot of instances. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, but there's certain things that I think what's happening now is people are trying to be more moral in the application and the creation of laws or what have you. You know, it was you're right. It was legal to own Black people and treat them as property and do with them what you want for a long time or what have you. But then, like I said, morality changed that. But there's certain things that because it was an outcry of the masses to change that, the moral implications, it was like, there's no way, you know, I think it was, what was his name? The guy who, they just did a movie on him. He was saying that there's no way if it can be, God can think slavery is a good thing, or you can believe in God and believe in slavery at the same thing. They're kind of antithetical of each other or what have you. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I just don't think that it should be. Like I said, I have my stipulations for when I think it could be applied or what have you. I just don't think it's something that should be wholesale abolished or illegal everywhere, because there's all kinds of certain circumstances that people can go through. And I really stand behind what I said earlier about unwanted children have never been a benefit to any society. Unwanted, unloved, uncared for, unmotivated, you know, drugs in the system have never been those are the ones who are in prison and penitentiaries right now. Unwanted children, unloved children.
Now, shout out to Take Heed to the Message. We all know Take Heed. Take Heed came on, and she is so transparent. That's why we love her so much here. Take Heed says she had an abortion very young in life. And she feels the same way that Jenny feels right now. But she had one, and she doesn't mind me talking about this. We all family over here. She said that when she did that years ago, to this day, she is still mentally and physically dealing with that demon. She said it bothers her. Sometimes she finds herself in these mental states that it just bothers her and I wonder how it feels for a 14-year-old to go through a severe, because if we look statistically, we look at the numbers, let's look how many deaths happen while they're on the table, while women are actually getting abortions. They go in for an abortion and they both come out dead. So she imagine a 14-year-old girl whose body has not even fully developed yet, going in, having a major procedure done, such as an abortion. She may not make it out, but what does that do to her mentally? Right? 78% of women of color, this is a fact. 78% of women of color who have had an abortion is on some type of mental illness medication. That is a fact.
I know one.
And so you go out, you have sex, you get pregnant, you go have a major procedure at 14, 15, 16, right? Because they say most abortions happen between the ages of 18 and 25, right? That's the first one. Under that, then you go to the 14 range, 15 range, right? And the ones that people don't want you to know about, pay enough money to scare everybody off. But think about it. And you're dealing with that every day. You see a child running in the park, the first thing you think about, I killed one of those. And take heed. I wish she was here. I wish she wasn't rubbing out her husband right now. That's what she doing. But if she would, but if she was here, she would tell you she deals with that mental strife all the time, and it happened years ago. So those women those little girls. Just imagine a grown woman saying, "I can handle this," but those little girls having mental illness, and then some of them going in dying on the damn table.
But I hear what she's saying, and I remember I've been on the show when she was talking about that.
Okay, good.
You know, yeah, and you know, my heart definitely goes out to her. But the thing is, you got to kind of like think about it. It was like, how many of those same? If you look at if somebody's getting an abortion, in most cases, I'm not talking about this. It's usually not a loving relationship where you guys are married, you know, you got support from the family type situation, and you're just like, I'm just greedy and I don't want it. It's usually a really negative situation. It's usually you're young, and yeah, I understand doing anything like that as a young person probably can mess you up and like mentally mess you up. But same token, having a kid at 14 years old, you know, missing out on the seeing all the fun stuff your friends doing and stuff like that could also lead you into a form of depression and things like that. And if that person gets depressed, they have postpartum or what have you, and you're young and you haven't really been able to cope with negative emotions, you might start taking out those frustrations on that child. So you put in that situation where it's okay, this thing happened to me. It's messed up my mind. I got a baby. I'm 15 years old. I'm 16-year-old. I got help. Or even if I got like, you know, grandma and mama and stuff like that, society is kind of judging me as like foolish and stuff like that. My prospects for long-term success have narrowed. That could cause depression. And that's where you see those higher likely. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm willing to bet there's a higher likelihood of child abuse in those situations as well. So two people are suffering in that case. The child is, and the mother is suffering.
Now, but think about, do you know that women can get postpartum from a abortion as well?
No, postpartum means you had this is different. Postpartum means after birth.
Yeah, no. But women who have gotten abortions have dealt with Google it. You got that right in front of your computer.
Yeah, they probably deal with depression. I get it. But imagine that coupled with the stress of trying to raise a child pretty much on your own, even if you have help. A lot of like the big mamas who take over and you can still do your thing or whatever, they gone.
Yep.
They not dealing with the kids. You know, a lot of these, even if you stay with your mama, you got to do all the work for the most part. And so you got that, plus you stressed out, plus all this other stuff. I guarantee you it's going to lend you, there's going to be higher instances of child abuse, if not self-deletion. It's going to be, it can be worse because two people can be affected by if you are depressed or messed up in the head.
Now, what if I told you that the numbers, I'm going to let you go, Miss Jenny. What if I told you that the number, everything that you said, I agree. And then on the flip side of it, what if I told you those things match? What if I told you the self-deletion rates match? What if I told you the postpartum depression match? What if I told you those numbers are significant with each other? So basically, in a nutshell, like somebody just put on my Facebook page here, you either, as a woman, you have to be careful with your vagina and allowing men to get you pregnant, because mentally and spiritually and self-deletion and all this other stuff is damn if you do and damn if you don't. If you have the baby, you can go into postpartum depression, hurt the baby, and delete yourself. There's a percentage of women who go through depression and take their lives after an abortion. The numbers are there, right? And if the woman has the baby, she'll take it out on the baby and delete herself anyway, or delete the baby, right? Or the women, they postpartum depression here, stress depression here. On both ends, it could end up with somebody being self-deletion or the baby being deleted. And that's why I said earlier about, if they're going to be sexually active, they're not pregnant yet, you need to put them on birth control for sexual liberation. A lot of these girls are following mama because, right, like you just said, big mama gone. She ain't raising no kids. So now The grandmother and the mama's out in the club with the damn grandmama 48, the daughter 31, the damn baby. You know, they all together partying together. So there's nobody teaching responsibility anymore. So you were right. I agree with that, Damien. At the same time, those numbers are matching. So it just don't have sex. Don't be out there. Just don't do it. I mean, if you don't want no baby, Miss Jenny.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was just having this discussion with somebody on Instagram, and I was saying that, you know, there's only one act, you know, and even in, you know, that category of act, you know, there's only one position or, you know, one, you know, subdivision of that can even get you pregnant. And the fact that, like you said, there's over 2,000 abortions happening every day, it's just a gross amount of irresponsibility. And people are using it as birth control. You know, whether or not people think that they should, or, you know, whatever the percentages are, you know, that is just the fact of the matter, is that people are being careless, they're being reckless, they're being wildly irresponsible, because there's all types of ways to have sex that don't even give you the possibility of being pregnant. And then on top of that, we have dozens of forms of birth control. And so that's one of the main reasons why I feel like it's totally inexcusable for these women, and why they need to be punished under the highest severity of the law, is because they just have a complete lack of respect for human life at the end of the day. Because human life is not valued based off of your want, like how the opinions of the people who are around you. You know, your life is not valuable deemed upon how much your parents want you. And I find it very interesting, Damien, how you were saying that it would be better for a woman to get rid of her child than for the child to be born and to be neglected and abused. So what makes you feel like abuse or neglect is somehow better than being murdered?
No, I said it's not better. It's not better to be neglected in what's called, but
I'm sorry, I got that backwards.
Yeah. But
so why is it?
Number one, I don't believe it's murder. I believe an abortion is not murder. So, but we can have that discussion another time. Okay. All I'm saying is because I've seen horribly abused kids, like kids I've gone through some things that some adults wouldn't be able to maintain, be able to go through. And the prospect of that person's life being, is realistically, that person's the kid's gonna be in jail. They're gonna be in and out of the system, you know, drug abuse, low self-esteem, depression. It's just their life is going to be most likely statistically going to be a real bad life. It's going to be really messed up or what have you. So, and the mom is still going to be messed up. So it's just like, it's just one of those, like, you got two people who are messed up and this is just me personally, I'll just keep it a buck. I think if a woman, say she's 16, she gets SA'd, she gets pregnant, she's by herself or whatever, you know, she has a deletion, and then she spends years going through therapy, getting everything together, trying to get her mind right, trying to forgive herself and get over the things or what have you. I feel like she still has the prospect and the possibility of building a good life for herself. If she can find a way to forgive herself, she can find it when she's ready. She can find a new partner. They have a kid or whatever, and they there's still the prospect of having a beautiful life for this young lady. The chances of it, if she's going through the stuff and trying to raise a kid, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just really slim that is going to be the outcome. Statistically, both of those people are going to have the child and the parent are going to have a really bad life.
Okay, so would you be opposed to, you know, someone going into a foster care, you know, facility and saying, okay, all the kids who were conceived through rape or, you know, their mom being SA'd, line up, and we're going to euthanize all of you. And that way we're going to save you from having a hard life, and we're going to save you from being in and out of jail and from living in poverty.
Well, no, these are already born. I'm not. You're saying something different now. That's kind of a disingenuous question, because you're talking about murdering, killing living children who are functioning, who are who are self-sustaining, their bodies are self-sustaining, they can think and stuff like that. You're talking about that. They're not biologically attached to another person, you know, for their survival. Yeah, people got to feed them, but if you take an 8-year-old and send him out in the woods, he could probably find something to eat and something to drink. You know, you take a 2-week, 3-month fetus, put it out of the woman's body, it's nothing. There's nothing you can do, you know, kind of situation. So that's kind of was a disingenuous question to say that you're just gonna go start murdering 8-year-olds or whatever. Whatever.
I mean, you said you didn't want to get into, you know, when life begins, but I mean, okay, well, let's go into the NICU, where those children are hooked up to machines because they were born a little bit early or they were born a little bit underweight. And let's go in there and let's talk to the mothers who have those kids and say, you know, was this child conceived in grape? You know, did you live in a red state? Oh, you know, don't worry about it. You know, we can get rid of him now and it'll be okay. And would you agree with that?
No, because this child has been born. This child is outside of it. So then what happens is the child, you can hook it up to machines, you can all the stuff you want to do, you're giving it the highest likelihood of it to survive. You know, there's a difference. If I took a 1-month-old fetus directly out of a woman's body, put it in a hospital bed, that's 100% that it's unviable and it will not survive. It's 100% likelihood of that. So
okay,
you played in two different things. Once I feel like this, it's a different story once the child has been born and has been separated from the woman's body.
Okay. Well, so what you're saying is that the value of life is subjective.
I think the difference is we got to determine what is actually life. That's where we can get into like what is an actual life? What does life mean? Does life mean that you have the ability to you have a working nervous system that can function and you can have some sort of self-autonomy? Like even a newborn baby, if you put something next to it, it's going to instinctively grab it and try to like eat it or suck it or something like that. Like, you know, we're getting into what is a viable life, and all I can go by is what the legal standard is. I remember Bossman read it on one of the things that we're on. There's a legal standard for what is considered a life, and even in Texas, even it's a 6-week period. So their legal standard is until 6 weeks. It's not considered a viable life.
Okay, so your standard for life is viability. That's the stance that you're taking.
Viability outside by itself to a degree, at least limited outside of the body to a degree. Yes, that would be my standard.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying is that standard is highly subjective because the earliest a child has ever been born and lived is 21 weeks. But that's a rare phenomenon, you know, that only very recently happened. And so if another child, you know, if the mother happens to go into very early labor and is born at 21 weeks, should they try to get him to live, or should they just kind of let him just stay there on the table? Because I live in Virginia, and here our previous governor, Ralph Northam, he signed a bill into law saying that if a child is born during an abortion and, you know, and they can be saved or treatment could be given to the child, that they don't have to. And so viability is a sliding scale, and the viability of one child could be very different from another child. There are children who are born at 34 weeks and they don't make it for some reason. And then there are children who are born at 28 weeks and they do.
Yeah, I think in a lot of those instances, but I'd have to look at the specific incidents, but I'm just giving my just rudimentary understanding of those incidents, is that a lot of that has to do, there's usually a considered contingent of the health of the mother. There's something going wrong that could pose a imminent risk to the health of the mother. So that's why they're progressing with a 21-week birth. I don't think they're saying like the mother is completely fine and there's nothing going on, and they're saying, okay, we're just gonna give you a C-section or extricate the baby at 21 weeks. There must be a medical situation going on where that has to be an option. And then even if it is happen, if they successfully extricate the baby, put it in all kinds of NICUs, EQs, and all kinds of stuff like that, the chances of survival, and I think your research was probably showed us as well, is very low. What, 10-15%? The chance that such a born so early or premature would be survive and be and make it like grow into a normal baby, like, have a normal life.
Okay, but that's a separate issue, whether or not the mother's life is at danger, because, a mother could be, seemingly healthy and, due to preeclampsia or what have you, go into early labor. And so whether or not the child is viable is separate from whether or not the mother's life is at danger. And so, I don't subscribe to the idea that there's ever a medically necessary abortion. Now, there can be treatments that can be done on a mother, chemo or surgery, where the death of the child is foreseen and anticipated, but it's not intended. And that's not the goal of the procedure. And so if a mother needs some kind of treatment to save her life and the death of the child is likely, then that's not an abortion. So I wouldn't consider that to be some kind of life-saving abortion.
If they extricate the baby under some laws, extricate the babies from unnatural terms, but before a specific term, in the statutes in Texas, that's considered an abortion.
If they take the baby out?
Extrication of the baby before a certain time is considered an abortion in the state of Texas. Even if it's a situation, like even if it's a totally unviable, even stillborn fetus inside the mom, if they have to take it out but from unnatural ways, it's considered abortion. That's what happened to not this chick, but the chick in Atlanta. I think her name was Amber somebody who just died. Like
so let me, real quick, guys. I want to get back to it, but I want to thank two people real quick. Mia Dobbs, thank you for the $10 Cash App. I appreciate you, honey. We got Jonathan, brother. Thank you, man, for the $5 Cash App, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. I do want to read something else before we get back to the conversation. It says here, and I think the laws, boss man, I want you to hear this as well. I'm just reading this while they were having a great conversation. I think those laws are about to start changing in the next few years when life starts. Let me tell you why. The National Institute of Health, the NIH, government, this is a government website. You can go on and check it yourself. In 2023, it's 2023. It says here, biologists from the academic institute around the world assessed this. According to a study surveying biologists from a various academic institution, it says 95% of the biologists affirm that the view that human life begins at conception. These are the scientists that work for the government. It says 95, I'll put the link in the chat. 95% of them have affirmed the view that human life begins at conception based on biological understanding. The study surveyed a large sample of government biologists, right? It says here, let me go to the next page here. Hold on a second. Where is it at? Hold on, come on. All right, hold on, I'm clicking back on it again. All right, it says 5,337 biologists out of 5,500 affirmed that fertilization starts at conception. Life starts at conception. So what's going to happen is, I'm just saying this, I'm not Nostradamus, but if that law changes, that means at conception, that's a life. So you definitely are going to have to rethink what murder is now. It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if the legal standard is the legal standard, that's all we can go by to judge what's murder and what's all that kind of stuff. So if they change the legal standard, then people would have to just face the consequences of if they change it. But I got a feeling, like I'm a rub my crystal ball and say that Kamala's gonna win, and she's gonna codify Roe in the next 4 years. I got a feeling.
But how's she gonna get it done?
Well, if she has the House and the Senate, it's a done deal. If she gets the House and the Senate, and any time in the next 4 years, or if she gets 4 years, whatever, it's done. It's a done deal.
Yeah, let me address this. Anissa, the reason that Trump won't commit to a national ban because he don't want nothing to do with it. That's why
He's
he
a
says,
coward.
Yeah, he don't want nothing to do with it. He says the states, if y'all want to do
Y'all
abortion,
voting for
do
a coward?
right? He said, right? We're right. What did he say? If you want abortion, do it in your own cities, in your own states. The government has nothing to do with it. Bang, boom. You have to be at the pew. Yeah, he's not. You don't want the government to have no hand in that shit. He don't.
Nah. Well, hold on. He just saw how unpopular it was and how he's losing a lot of people. He goes with whatever flows he thinks is going to give him the biggest amount of support. So he thinks, I think they say 60%, over 60% of people was good with the way Roe v. Wade was, and he's like, but he had to get the evangelicals on his side, so he had to run on that platform.
He's a compromiser.
Nah, I don't know about even compromise. I think he just one of those people that like you mean if you compromise his values and his ethics? I agree with that. If you're saying that's what he said, I agree with that.
He's not standing on what. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
standing on what's right. He's just doing what's popular, and so I can't stand behind that. But he's better than the other choice.
Is he really? Can we go back to that original question? Like, who would? I don't know if you're done with that. Who would?
Yeah, I'll ask Jenny. Jenny, if God came down and said, "I'm voting in this election, and I'm going to vote for the person who lines up more on what I believe," who is God voting for?
I would say that he would vote for Trump, not just because of the policies, but because women have no business being in leadership positions. And so there's no way that Jesus would ever vote for a woman to be the president of a country. So just right out of the gate.
I love Jenny.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's just hold on a second. Whoa. So you've never had you've never had a good female boss, or you've never seen somebody who like you were working for a company and they were doing a good job and all that stuff. Regardless, I don't know what you do, but you don't have friends who had like, oh my God, this manager of mine or this executive of mine is just, and her name is this, and she's dope. You never had experience with great female leaders?
No, I have. I used to work at a nail salon before I got married, and my female bosses, they were all competent and intelligent. And I think that's where the misunderstanding comes in, is that people think that when people like me say that women should not be leaders in the home, women should not be leaders of countries or companies or things like that, a woman's place is under a man. It's not that women are incompetent or that women are dumb compared to men. It's just that women and men are different. And so I often hear the comparison made where it's like, what's better, a dishwasher or a washing machine? Well, for what purpose exactly? If you put your clothes in the dishwasher, they might get clean. If you put your dishes in a washing machine, if they're plastic, they might get clean. And so it's not about, which one is better. It's just that they serve different purposes. And so it's just not a woman's place to be usurping authority over men.
Yeah, I think with if you want to go just to like the natural order of things and like like a romantic or relationship dynamic, I am actually with that. I'm pretty traditional. Like, I don't know if you see me on any other part. I'm a traditional guy. I believe I pay 100% of the household bills. Wife didn't work for 10 years. Why I don't believe she shouldn't have worked, and she didn't work for 10 years. Why our kids were young. They're in school now and they've gone all the day. So my wife does work, but her money is not utilized to pay any of the bills. I think that's just a discipline that I've learned and that I've adopted and I agree with. I do believe. Huh?
What you do with her?
Well, hers is she doubles up on the 401k. She maxes out the 401k. Like we going on a family vacation and she's gonna pay for that. you know, what have you. I think just the static bills, like the bills that are set, I think it's my job, like the food that goes in the kid's mouth, you know, stuff like that. But my wife, she's really good at like moving money. So, and of moving money around. That was her job before she got married. She was a project manager. So her thing was all about numbers. So she's better. I'll just admit she's better at me at moving more money. I'm better at making money than she is. So I think it works well for us, that dynamic. But I like I said, I didn't even come from a family like that. My dad and my mom both worked, and they were 50-50. But, or I think my dad worked more, so it's probably more like a 65-35 situation. But I just knew. I knew. I just knew that's the dynamic I was, or what have you. But that's outside of business. I think if you have the same education, you have the same discipline, or what have you. I don't think the gender should is going to make you more of an effective leader of people outside of the home. I think there's certain aspects of the home that I think men are just more suited to lead in. But I think a business, any woman who understands numbers can be the CEO of Coca-Cola. And I think for the most part, the United States of America is a business. And I think a woman a real educated woman who has experience, I think, can do a fine job.
Now, Damon, I want you to do me a favor. Let's talk about your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's beautiful to you. Yes.
Yes.
Amazing woman.
Dope.
Well spoken.
Yes.
You go out to eat, she ain't cussing out the person bringing the food.
No.
Unless, whoa. Wait a minute, David. I'm trying
No. It only happened one time, and she deserved it. Believe me, this person deserved it.
She's a great mom.
She's a great mom.
Yeah, so she's good, and she's good around the house, and she'll help with anything that you need. Is that correct?
Yep.
So I think that you're in the realm of, Anissa said, a traditional man. You are the man who found a woman who submits to you. Is that correct? Does she submit to you, or does she challenge you or bully you?
She doesn't challenge or bully me at all. No.
Exactly. So the men, Nissa, let me help you. You're looking at a man who does not have to deal with anything that y'all bring to the table. Meaning y'all single women who think y'all independent, you want everything, you don't do nothing. This man has found a woman who will bow to his will. He just said it. She submits to him. She's a great mom. She's great around the house. She's great with the kids. She's great with numbers. Anytime you have a woman like that, you do anything for that woman.
But let me hold on a second. Let me set some realistic expectations. I had to earn this. I had to show with a significant number of years of good decision making that included the things that she were valued and that she wanted in for long term. I had to include her. I couldn't just be like, we're gonna do this and you're just gonna sit behind. Her insight has been invaluable to assist me. I set the plan, and she's the person that, like, she gives her insights and that valuable experience. Like,
right, you give her the blueprint, and she makes the changes to what the furniture.
Uncle Jeff said it best. He said she has anything that we have a discussion. She has the first say. I have the final say. That's the kind of way.
Right, exactly, and that's how it should be. So I agree with you 1,000%. Lost in Translation said, do we need more Coke CEOs or do we need more wives? Because I don't think you could do both.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I agree. That a Coke CEO is going to be hyper focused on success and what have you.
Exactly.
So are they going to be the best wife and mother? Probably not. They're going to be great. They could be great. They could be amazing. But to me, there's like, I believe in crushing shit. Like, if you're going to be a mom, you're going to crush it. If you're going to be a dad, you're going to crush it. You're going to like be the best. You're going to ball out on it or what have you. You need to I want my kids, when they grow up, that my sons are going to be like, I want to emulate my dad because he was I'm looking for that, because that affirmation that I did a good job. And I want my daughter to be like, setting a high standard to when she's out there dating guys, she's gonna be like, oh man, my dad did it better than that. I kind of want, that's the kind of dynamic I'm trying to build or what have you.
Now, I do want to say this to you, because one day we're gonna have a show on this. Me and you gonna talk about this.
Okay.
Now you're a married man. How long you been married?
16 years.
Damn, boy, I didn't know that. So listen.
Yeah, I'll be 50 in next month, so I'm old.
Oh wow.
Wow. Oh yeah, you've been drinking that baby's blood. See, that's why you want to work. Listen, my thing is this. I'm gonna say this to you, bro. Congratulations on your marriage, man. I'm all for that, brother. Your family man, brother. Much respect for you, Damien. Much respect. Now, I want to say this to you though. You're an atheist, right?
I am an
Agnostic.
atheist, yeah. I'm agnostic, but the same thing for the most part. If I found some evidence that God existed and I believed it, I would be a believer just like everybody else.
Now, you do know marriage is a spiritual thing. You know marriage
if you want it to be.
Where was it founded?
Like I said, if you want it to be.
I'm just asking a question.
Marriage, initially, if you're going to go way back, marriage was an agreement, but usually between rich people to bring families together to hold on to wealth and position. Like the king would marry his kids off to like the other kings and knights and dukes to like maintain power. It was a power play for the most part. Poor people, it was like really, but the institution was initially married to bring to hold on to resources. But I did it, like I said, and I did it because two things. The reason I believe it, I'm strong. I'm a big proponent of marriage. I think marriage is something that we are not doing. And there's not a lot of people getting married and staying married. I'm a big proponent of that.
Hold on. Is your wife atheist too?
No.
How y'all working that shit out? Now,
no. Hold on. She's one of those people like she feels like there's something bigger than the both of us. She does. We've had our discussions about it or what have you. So she feels like something. She's not signed up. She's not like dialed into one specific religion. Like I'm this. I'm a Christian. I'm a Buddhist. I'm not. She thinks there's something above us that we that connects us and that we all connected to and whatever like that. She thinks there's something. But she hasn't really put her finger on it. But she's not like me where I feel like when I'm done, I'm gonna be worm food. Just put me in a hole, let me feed the earth, and grow.
It's cheaper to cremate you.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is. Whatever she wants, I don't care. I'll be there. She can do whatever she want to do with me. I don't care. She don't need to be, like I said. So, but yeah, to answer that question that you asked about I just think that the original question is that if we really look at, because if we looked at what the good book tells you God believes, I think he would align with Kamala a whole lot more than he would align with Trump.
Killing babies.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. The thing is this: if we look at the letter, I pulled up the 10 Commandments. Let's pull up the 10 Commandments. Okay, that's the law he laid from. Okay. All right. Number one, let's start with the woman. It's like killing, babe, thou shalt not kill, or what have you. There's a difference between if I have a gun and in my house, and I know and I put it on the table. You walk into my house, take my gun, and shoot up 5 people because I provided the mechanism for death or what have you, doesn't mean that I'm contributor. It's my fault. So I'm sure Kamala ain't kept nobody. I don't think Donald Trump has killed nobody.
Whoa, stop, pause. Do you think that Donald Trump incited that election on January the 6th?
Yes.
But did he go in the building?
Nope.
But you said he's responsible.
No, but there's a difference between like I said, let's use my example and with what you're saying. If I told the dude, hey, there's a gun on the table, go kill somebody or go take that gun and do what you want with it, then I'm responsible. But if I say nothing, I say, hey, there's just a gun there. I'm not telling you to do anything, and I'm not enticing you to go do it. I'm like, you know what? There's a gun there, and there's a grocery store right there that got a bunch of money in it. I'm not saying you should rob it, but if you did, that's on you. That's different. That is totally different.
You don't think Kamala has any ghost babies?
No, I don't think she killed nobody.
What?
I don't think she killed nobody.
Hold on, 60 years of life. Hold on, I'm gonna say this. 60 years of life. And if you even go back, I don't have nothing against how Kamala looks. Okay, I know she's a witch. But I will say, if you go back in Kamala's 20s up until now, that's a beautiful woman. And you can't, and she was having sex with some prominent men. You can't tell me that Willie Brown wasn't knocking that damn thing off with no condom. And she got, come on now. Come on now, Willie Brown's up in that thing.
Childish.
Come on now.
I wouldn't doubt it, but it's just one of those things where you don't even know if she can have children.
Oh, stop.
Now we're reaching.
I don't know. I don't know. So, no, but hold on. What you're trying to say is like you saying that she probably got some ghost children is the same as me saying we don't know if she can have children. It's just a speculation.
Man.
We just speculation on something. But let's get back to the topic.
Okay.
All right, let's go through it. Let's start from 10 and work our way down and just get an idea who's more aligned with it. Thou shalt not covet.
Okay.
And thou shalt not. Okay, so you don't think Donald Trump covets money?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So I mean, and if you had to say who you think is have a more covetous nature, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? I mean, Kamala Harris, you got to say Donald Trump because all he talks about is material wealth and opulence and fabulous.
Coveting particularly,
or their neighbor's wife. Let's just say they cover their neighbor's wife. Even if we put that part on it, that's another one. Covenant his wife. You don't think he's overtly? You've heard him talk about married women before on that Access Hollywood tape. He was talking about going after that one journalist. He was like, she was married. He said, I went at her like a bee. You know, I took her to furniture shopping. He coveted thy neighbor's wife. So I mean, that's one right there.
Hold on, go on the other side. Didn't Kamala cover another woman's husband?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is, hold on. But the difference is, like, we can get into if they were even still, they were legally separated.
They were married. They were
together. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. If you want to make that, even though I don't agree, if you want to make that a tie, whatever. All right. But it says like, shall not commit adultery.
You're about to get to the commandment that fits that narrative. Go ahead.
No, hold on a second. Y'all shall not commit adultery.
Yes.
Okay, got you. Okay. Let's just say she did. I'll use your argument. Let's just say she did. Let's just say I don't believe it because of the dynamic that was going on. But let's just say she committed adultery. Donald Trump has committed adultery multiple times.
Does it matter?
Does it matter if you kill one person or kill four?
Hold on. So if I had, I'm trying to think of an analogy I could use here. So if I had sex with a woman 3 times, I cheated on my wife 3 times, and my wife cheated on me 1 time, we both still cheated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times I did it. We both cheated. It's the same thing.
I don't necessarily agree with that because I think that
if she committed adultery, he committed adultery 3 times, she did it once. It's the same shit. They both did it. They both guilty of the sin.
I see what Damien is saying, though.
She get what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
It's more egregious the more times you do it.
Well, okay. I agree with that.
And like make false idols. You know, Donald Trump has put his name. There's no way somebody who wants his name on so many different buildings isn't. And let's look at the 7 deadly sins. Gluttony. Come on now. Wrath. He's the most vengeful person on the planet. He gets revenge on people. Hold on a second. You don't think Donald Trump gets revenge? He's talked about if he gets in, he's going to send the military after his rivals. That's
because the Democrats already did it to him. They tried to blow his head off twice.
No. Those were Republicans that shot him. Those were Republicans. Those people were registered Republicans. Look it up.
That is absurd.
They were regular. I'm telling you, registered Republicans.
Go ahead, man.
They were registered Republicans. I'm serious. You could just easily Google it and see that I'm 100% true. You know, now thou shalt not make false idols. Like, come on now. That's somebody who wants his name emboldened. I mean, he's gluttonous. He's lustful. Come on now. You know, what's the other one? Sloth. Like he's slow to move and like, you know, what's the other one? Pride. Come on now.
Limit. You got to be able to pume.
Come on. Like what's the other one? Got gluttony, pride, sloth, business. It's just like if you go down the list of them, he fits. You can find an instance of him overtly fitting a bill on all of those.
And so does Kamala.
Oh, where's the last time? What was go down the list and tell me like what you call it? What where has she been gluttonous?
She has a bloodlust for power. She's insatiable. She's willing to do anything and do anybody to get to the top.
That's it. That's it, Jenny. I love you, Jenny.
Hold on, so let me get this straight.
Jenny.
You don't think that? Let's just say this. Let's say this. I'm put it to you, Jenny, since you're the one who said it. Are you married right now?
Yes, I am.
You got a husband. Good. You say you were just dating him when you first started dating him, not when you married him. You started dating him, and a position came up he thought you might be good for. He said, "Hey, you know what? Jenny's good at this. Like, you need a nail salon manager. She worked at a nail salon. I think she'd be great. Why don't you hire my wife as your nail salon manager or what have you?" And they hire you. You get the job, but you got to go in there and show you know what you're talking about. They never just give you the job. They say, okay, you show your experience. You see, you got the accolades or whatever. You know, you can bring in clientele. You got a book of business that you can bring over, all this kind of stuff. And they say, cool, you got the job. What is wrong with somebody who sees that you have the ability to do something to giving you a leg up? If that's what happened, I'm just saying, it give you a leg up to help you get in a position that you are qualified for.
Well, that's the thing, is that she wasn't qualified. And it wasn't that he gave her a leg up. It was that she put her legs up, and that she only got that position because she slept with him.
So she wasn't a lawyer. She wasn't a lawyer. Yeah. She didn't graduate the bar, California bar, and get a job and get her Juris Doctorate. She didn't do.
I think that you have a hyperinflated view of people who are professionals. A lot of these people, they just get by off of connections and elbow rubbing and schmoozing.
Donald Trump got all his connections. His daddy gave him $400 million and access to New York's wealthy people in order to build his thing. I agree. Connections is where you get out. If one of my brothers wanted a job and I had the ability to give it to him, I would hook my brother up.
Yeah, and so I'm not coming from the position that Trump is the savior and Trump is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just saying that Kamala is equally as bad, if not worse.
I don't think so. I'm just saying, let's just say somebody put her in a position that she was qualified for is different than you get in a position because because of your last name, your daddy paying for your way to get in position, because you don't have to qualify for shit. Money talks. He didn't have to qualify for nothing. He didn't even have to hold public office before people made him the president of the United States, most powerful person in the world. He didn't have to make no laws. He didn't have to have any policies. He didn't have to have any kind of connections with any type of world leaders. He didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to do nothing. All I'm saying is we're talking about if he had to make. That's the only choice. Is Trump or what's called who is most like? I think that Trump has shown more deceitful and let's just quote y'all, devilish behavior and proclivities than Kamala has ever shown.
Okay, I will say this. I will say this about Turkey Neck. Listen, my thing is this: when November the 6th comes, I'm gonna have a special show,
and I'll be on that, mother.
And I want Anissa to be there. Anissa probably not coming out for a while. After they say the 46th president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, I ain't trying to hear shit else.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Because you can't say he racist because millions of black people are voting for the man. You can't say that.
Come on now.
You can't say it. How can you say a man is racist and you got millions of people with free will not being forced to saying, I'm voting for this man?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of, and this is what I said, I'm a big proponent of teaching political science and civics way more than they do in especially urban schools, so we can get an idea how things work and how to recognize things in the political landscape, because I think we are grossly misinformed when it comes to both candidates.
I think, well, Kamala Harris, I do think that some of the stuff that she says right now is making the bed for Trump to lay in. Let me give you an example. Some of the stuff we say, y'all say misinformation, but as soon as we pull up the Fox News interview, everybody quiet.
What Fox News interview? When he asked Kamala, the 3 girls that got murdered
by those 3 illegal immigrants, are you going to apologize to those families? Did she apologize? Yes or no?
I don't know if she did. I don't think so. I don't know.
She did not. She looked at him and said, "It's so bad. What happened to them?" He said, "But don't you think they deserve an apology?" But I think what happened to them was very bad. He said, "Yeah, but you should apologize because you."
But she didn't. Why? Okay, if she's apologizing, just one human to another human, saying, "I'm sorry that your family member got killed," I get it. But she shouldn't come from a we did something wrong as far as policy apology. It shouldn't be like
they loosened the laws at the border that let.
No, hold on. Let me tell you what Kamala role was at the border, and I think we played that on your show. Was her role was she was tasked to go to and check out 3 different places: Honduras, El Salvador, and I think Nicaragua was the last one. And she said, "Okay, we are getting a huge amount of asylum requests from those 3 countries. Can you go there, check it out, and see if they're really that dangerous that they need to come and seek asylum in the United States? And then give a report back, talk to the leaders of those countries and see if there's something we can do to help them, to keep them in their countries." And that's what she did. And if you do the Google it, asylum claims from those 3 countries dropped by 50% after she went down there. I'm not talking about Mexico, because she didn't do nothing in Mexico. In Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, asylum claims from those things, I think, dropped down like 50% after she went and did what Joe Biden asked her to do.
I have a question, Damien.
Yeah.
If you and your family, I know you do well, so this is just hypothetically speaking. If you and your family were on bad times and you're looking for a place to stay, you were going to the government saying, "Listen, we need food stamps, we need housing, we need everything. My family is just in a really, really bad rut." And they tell you, "Damien, we cannot. We'll give you $700. That's all we have." And then the next day you see this party building asylum cities in California, your state, and saying people can come in and they're taking care of them, giving these people checks for $5 grand, $3,500, giving them food, giving them places to stay. And you live here. This is your country. We shouldn't feel no type of way. The interviewer at Fox, he asked her this question. You guys, no, this wasn't Fox, it was 60 Minutes. He said, you guys loosened the laws that Trump put in place, let 23 million people over. It quadrupled the amount. He said historic amount of people came over the border. And y'all set up asylum cities for these people.
Okay. All right.
Let's the man next door to you just got here from the border, got dirt on him, getting $5 grand, and they won't give you nothing.
All right, 2 things. You got 2 things. Let's drill down in that. Okay. The things that were the laws that were loosened were those that were separating kids from families. Those are the laws that they were loose, because they kept losing all the kids, and they were like having a hard time reconnecting these children with their parents. Those laws related to how they the cages and all that kind of stuff, those were the laws that they kind of loosened up or whatever. They didn't just totally throw the playbook out. They just said that's inhumane, that's not right, or what have you. Because Donald Trump said, I think it was Donald, who was it? His AG that got fired, that Donald Trump fired. But basically they were saying that if we make it scary enough to come here, they won't come. Basically, if they know that we're going to take their children, maybe they don't come. And that was the philosophy, which I think is a super inhumane thing to do. Be like, you from running away from something, or you're looking to better your people, your situation, and we're gonna take your children away from you. You may not see them again for years. That I think that's just you got to have no heart whatsoever to do that kind of shit. And then so what happened was, once those were out of place, yes, there was a huge surge in people coming, because they was like, because this is why it incentivized them to like, we need to go now, because we don't know if they gonna put those laws again where they're gonna take our children away. So let's go while those laws and before they put those laws back. It incentivized them to hurry up and get here, instead of kind of like taking their time or whatever to get there. And
23 million.
You know, and I get the desperation can be a great motivator, you know. So that's the reason that that happened, and that's the reason the laws that they were like softening up on. Now, the second thing, when you said the whole like 700 thing, that's a you talking. I know you trying to revert to like the hurricane.
No, I wasn't. I really was. I just used it just as an example. I wouldn't get into
okay. I thought you said because that just happens to be the amount that FEMA gives you on immediate needs right away. That FEMA thing, and then once they assess, you can get more money after that.
But when you know what, she needs you on her press release team, because when that man asked her that in that interview, her response was not yours. He said, this happened under your watch. She didn't say, well, he said, and you loosened those laws that Trump put in place. She didn't say, well, we loosened them because of the women in the children. That would have been great for her to say. That would have helped her a lot. Guess what she said? Well,
but do you understand why she didn't expound on that? I'm gonna tell you why she didn't expound on it, because number one, and she still got a race to run and thing, and that is one subject where she's weak on. So why would you, if you know you weak on something, why would you spend any more time than you need to on it?
Because the people need to hear they're upset about it.
Or you but then what you do is you don't sit there and like, hey, well, people are upset about it because the Republicans are telling them to be upset about it. Like, seriously. It's like, because we live in Texas. I mean, what crime do we see? It ain't affecting us that bad. And you know it.
My neighbor next door has a very nice house just like I do. And that motherfucker, I see motherfuckers over there that I ain't never seen before.
Well, I mean, but you don't know that they illegal.
Let me tell you something. So I know my neighbor. He cool as fuck. He Hispanic too. He cool as me and him cool. We like brothers, right? He watch my house when I'm not here. I watch his. We neighborhood watching this bitch.
Yeah.
Right. So but and I talk to him about anything. I'm be like, hey man, that's your family? He said, yes, my family. I said, oh, okay. You don't get them jobs? He said, yeah, but under the table. I said, why? He said, you know why. I said, oh, okay, cool. He said, I got him a job at where I work. I said, okay, cool. I said, bruh, how long they been here? He said, they came here legally. I said, how? He said, across the border, motherfucker. He said, we had a place where we all gonna meet up at. When they got across the border, they hid for a couple of days, waited till we got there. We picked them up, brought them home, brought them here. Oh, shit.
But what? That goes against your point.
I said, hold on. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, now, that was about a month. That was a month or so ago. Now, I'm looking over here. I see a brand new Chevrolet Trax. I said, what the fuck is going on? He said, bro, do you know how much money the government gave these money? He said, shit, I want to be illegal. I said, you want to be illegal? Why? He said, man, together, them motherfuckers probably sitting in there on $40,000 in checks.
Yeah, like I said, I'd have to see the particulars of that, because that seems just a lot.
I told him I need to come on my show. I said, man, I need you to come on my show and say what you just told me. He said, oh, I'm not throwing my family under the bus so they can go call ICE on my people.
Yeah,
said, bro, they living good. It's a Chevrolet. I can take pictures.
I don't doubt it. I'm not here to call you a liar. I'm just saying, I don't know if they like either one or two things. Number one, either he's exaggerating the amount or they doing some shady shit. They doing
a bunch of motherfuckers over there.
And he probably facilitated, because they don't come here knowing the system. He probably did the work and said, okay, I'm gonna get you $5,000. But I'm willing to bet your neighbor is a U.S. citizen doing that.
He is.
So it's the U.S. It's the U.S. citizen committing the crime.
That's what I'm saying. Look, bro, that's his people though. Oh, that's his family though. So say for instance, all of them getting $5,000 a piece, and he getting a piece of the pie.
So look, exactly. But people, hey, skunks got a skunk. Criminals do crime. That's the way it is.
Bro, now, damn, you know for a fact, if your people were illegal immigrants and you can get them over here and they get $5,000 a piece, and they give each one of them give you $1,000, you stop.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Sure.
No, I would not. I fractured a few laws in my day, but I'm this thing is like, I'm very happy where my life is, and I avoid anything that could impact my children's life. So it's the juice is not worth the squeeze for me to do anything illegal or anything fraudulent and stuff like that. I mean, I'm good, so I don't need that extra. The risk is not worth the squeeze. PPP loans, fraud, not D.
So Anissa says that I'm lying. So Anissa, do you think, I wish she could cam up. I don't know why she won't cam up. Maybe she walking around the house butt naked with her hair pulled back looking at TV. But Let's see here. I'm gonna pull this up. So, as of now, it says, listen to this. The CBO projects, and this is coming from Homeland Security. Guys, these are all government websites. I love it. It says, the Office of the Homeland Security says, shelter and service programs for immigrants, illegal immigrants. It says that Department of Homeland Security allocated $640 million in SSP funds in 2024 to help communities support non-citizen migrants.
I get you. I hear you.
$640 million. Hold on. This includes another $300 million through the SSP-A. And then another $340.9 million for the SSPC. Oh my God. It says the CBO projects that the immigration surge will increase federal revenue by $1.2 trillion by 2034.
So they're gonna make money. So they're gonna make money by doing what they did, by making this investment in, like you said, these immigrants, they're gonna make money.
Hey, but hold on. But my thing is this.
So they're gonna make money.
But hold on, you just talk about breaking the law.
No. There's no breaking the law. They're doing it under the law that they're doing.
You just said my neighbor breaking the law.
Oh no, I didn't say he was. I don't know your neighbor. I don't want to say I'm accusing somebody of committing a crime. All I'm saying, like I said, that's a possibility. If he's doing that and he facilitated, there's a possibility that he might be breaking the law in order to facilitate that much money coming into his house, and especially if you're getting a piece of it.
So
that's different.
How do you feel that 640, 340, and 300 is allocated to non-citizens of the United States and people around, and we got the biggest homeless population in the world?
I agree. Like I said, I was born in San Francisco, which has a huge homeless population. Shout out to London Breed. And I get it. I think there should be more done for more resources put toward homeless people. But do you realize, I think people don't realize what like these migrants and these workers come over and do for the economy. Do you know the reason? I know people saying groceries so high, but the reason why they're not higher is because of the low wages we pay of most of these migrant workers, because we can, where you'd have to imagine, say you all right, you about to work 14 hours a day picking strawberries in the sun, in the winter, 6 days, 7 days a week. That's what you're going to do. And I'm going to pay you $4.50 an hour to do it. That way I can sell, instead of these strawberries being $10 a bushel, they're going to be $4 a bushel, and I'm going to sell a bunch of them because they're affordable. These industries, these agriculture industries, and there's a lot of other industries that are their whole basis of existence is based on cheap labor, construction, all these things. The service industry are based on cheap labor coming over, coming through the border. So don't nobody really want this to be fixed. It's something to scare you, but because if it was, this has been going on for years, 30, 40 years. Somebody could have put something together to do it. Yes, it's bad when immigrants come over and citizens get killed, but it's bad when citizens kill citizens. It's bad when.
Hold on. I got the numbers here. Okay. All right. According to Homeland Security, they said in 2023 to 2024, this is how many illegal immigrants came across the border in each state. Foreign-born immigrants illegal. California, 10.7 million. Texas, 5.1 million. Florida, 4.6 million. New York, 4.4 million. That's the top five.
But remember, but those, if it's placed something, remember, it ain't all coming from the border. That's the thing. Most illegal immigrants come on a plane. And most of the drugs come over on a plane. They come over here and work. I know people who came on here on student visas and just stayed, and then ended up finding some American to marry so they could stay longer.
It is
You
it is your right to tell the people that they're staying on their visas because you're not a criminal. Remember?
Yeah. I mean, it's my right, but I don't have to do it. It's not
Isn't
my
that illegal?
obligation.
Is that illegal?
No. To see to not act. There's certain law. There's certain countries where you have to act, but there's certain California ain't one where you got to snitch on nobody. And, if don't get me wrong, if they come and directly ask me, do you know that Enrique is an illegal alien, and I lie, then I've committed a crime. But ain't nobody came to me and asked me nothing. I'm not gonna call up and be like, hey, guess what? I know this dude named Enrique who's illegally. Or not even Enrique. I know this dude named Bjorn from Norway who's outstayed his visa. Because I mean, everybody want to put it on the people, the brown people, but man, if you do all the aliens, like 1/3 of those look at are not brown or black.
And you know what? I'll say this: I have nothing against Hispanic community coming over here. Shit, because so who just said the boss man said in the chat here, don't nobody want to do those jobs that those guys come over here and do.
Seriously.
And they don't, and I'm all for them. I just don't want to see it get to a country to a point where people start to react physically and harmfully to people based on jealousy or based on them being upset. Because think about it, I'm in this country, I'm begging you motherfuckers to help me financially. You said no, but Enrique right here gets 5,000.
But hold up. You in this country and you said I need some help, and they say here are the 18 things you got to do to get your help. You're like, oh hell nah. I'd rather go sell dope, or I'd rather go beg for it, or I'd rather go do something. Enrique said, okay, give me the list. I'm gonna have my translator come in there and they're gonna do everything on that list to get it right. Because that desperate. Like I remember I was watching this documentary where it was this dude who it was a big thing. It was in Alabama, and he was picking some kind of agricultural plant or whatever product or whatever, and he did that. They made it to where you could, if you hired illegals, you could get fined and you can go to jail. And they got rid of all of them. And he put the same jobs down at minimum wage. He said he got 1/3 of the people applying for the jobs, and they did less work when they got the jobs than the migrants did, and complained a lot more. So he had more workers comp. Man, I remember I put in a pool in my backyard two years ago, and I compared the immigrant workers to wasn't no brothers, it was all white dudes, but the immigrant white man, them immigrants, I'd never seen so many breaks when the white dudes was in here doing it. I was like, y'all want to break again?
And think about it, bro. I have no problem with that, because I remember it was an ongoing joke that they said Mexicans can put a roof on in 20 minutes. I have no problem with that. My thing is the fact that they're going to publicly put it out anyway. But when you say, oh, we've allocated 6, when you tell your people, we don't really got, we're going to help y'all when we can. And then they sit up here and see y'all allocated $640 million for one thing. And then right here it says immigrating court system. Congress provided $840 million for the immigration court system in 2024. 840. Let me put this on the screen. People ain't gonna believe it. I gotta put it on the screen.
But they allocated, but they in that plan. I think you're talking about it's part of that bill that was shot down by Trump. Trump was like, "Don't bring it up for the vote or what have you," because that's for more judges. That's for more enforcement. That's to make sure that and I think that's for the asylum seekers. Like the asylum seekers had an opportunity to get through the process quicker. Because what is something that a lot of people on the right say is true. They say you got an issue. Here's a ticket. Here's a thing. We backed up. We're gonna call you back and come back in 6 months. And sometimes you don't see them.
Oh, look at this. So go down. Okay, listen. So immigration. So shelter and this is shelter and service programs. SSP. You see it, 340 million, 0.9. Then the SSP -C, 300 million. Then another 340 million. So let's go down to we already read that part. So let's go down to the immigration detention centers. Congress provided $3.43 billion for immigration detention centers in 2024. Immigration court system, Congress provided $840 million for the immigration court system in 2024. Refugee and Asylum Division, Congress provided $424 million for the Refugee and Asylum Division of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services in 2024. And that's the part I read to you a few minutes ago. The CBO projects that the immigration surge will increase federal revenue by $1.2 trillion from 2024 to 2034.
That seems like a good investment, return on investment right there.
So Anissa, I was not lying. There it is right there, Billy Goat.
But you said it. You read it. It's a good return on investment. We're going to make some money off of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't got no problem with us investing in something that's going to give us that much return on investment.
And I say that all the time. I work downtown. I'm in Dallas, of course. So I work downtown Dallas, right in the middle of downtown Dallas, bro. And when I'm going to work, they're building new highways there now because it's just growing. Shit is too much down there. They're building highways and they're building buildings, bro. When I tell you, all you see is fucking Mexicans. That's it. Building them buildings and they getting the shit done. You know, and so I'm guaranteeing you that they're all not, I'm telling you, they may not all be legal, bro. Like I
wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
We had a First Baptist church that's been there since 1864, some shit, downtown Dallas, one of the biggest, oldest monuments there, the church. It just burned. It had a fire and burned. And they're trying to restore what was left. You know, they tried to really trying to restore the building. Bro, they put that catwalk up. This happened probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago. They almost done, bro. Listen, this shit's crazy.
And BMU, check this out. If you are a business owner and you can get that efficiency for a low price,
hire.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so
they want a job too.
It's not an economic problem. That's why they're not framing it as an economic problem. All these immigrants coming over, it's not an economic problem. They're framing it as a legal problem.
Right.
That's what they're framing as. They come commit crimes and people getting this and that. And he didn't say that, you know, but well, Donald Trump did try to say they're taking black jobs, even though black people wouldn't be doing those jobs for those wages anyway, because I think that was a smack in the face. We think that, you know, that was another, I won't even get into that, but it was just like, the big companies who are doing this, they're not complaining. They are secretly donating money to Kamala's thing for the win because they want to keep that. So they want to keep them profits high and that efficiency high. So it's just like, it's not it's economic problem. They're not that much of an economic drain on the U.S. as people think. It's a legal problem, as the crime and the criminality of it is what people are trying to push.
Because Kamala, you know, she used to free labor.
Here we go.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so is Donald Trump. He just don't pay you. He said it. You do something for him, he just won't pay you.
Bro,
he said. He even said.
November the 6th. November the 6th. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a message. I'm like, you all right?
I'm serious. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm like, you guys all right? You ready?
Hey, I want to thank Embrace the Grace. She sent me a $5 cash app. Thank you so much, Sugarfoot. I appreciate you, baby. All right, guys. So thank you guys for being here, man. Hopefully, we can continue to have these conversations. Miss Jenny, who's over there with a baby right now, so I can understand your passion with you being pregnant right now, you and your husband. So I'm so happy for you guys. I saw y'all pictures. Well, y'all be taking some pictures, boy. I said, look at these photogenic people. Good God, Jesus. But no, there's some beautiful pictures, man. But congratulations to you and your husband. Damian, man, I learned a lot more about you tonight, man, respectfully so, bro, about you and your family, man. So I just love to hear that, bro. So I appreciate you for coming too, man. I'll see you
Thanks,
Tuesday.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Miss Jenny, if you feeling okay Tuesday, I'll send you the link as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Shuko. Y'all have a good night, man. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, we out.
It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Need a yeehaw, you know how ye. Here for one night and we just wanna party in a fast car.
Oh, one more thing before everybody leave. We got a new show coming to the Black Men Unfiltered Network. Yes, y'all already know I'll be cooking in the background. I'll be cooking. So I'm gonna play the outro again. When I play the outro, you will see the young lady at the end of the outro. You'll see the entire thing that I made for her. She's inside of the shows with all the other people. And the name of the show is called The Plug. And The Plug stands for Power Living Under God. She is a parental therapist who helps parents who deal with depression with their children, who deal with stresses with their children dealing with depression, children dealing with stress. So she deals with the parents and the children. So she's a children advocate because she works in the system with those children, and she's an advocate for parents learning how to be better parents. And so and she's dealt with young ladies who want to have abortions and things of that nature. And I thought that having her be a part of the network would be an amazing thing. All right, so guys, get ready for that. Her first show will be Sunday, December the 1st at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you guys will see her in the outro. All right, here we go. Peace.
It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like a toy so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like a toy so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Need a yeehaw, you know how ye. Here for one night and we just wanna party in a fast car, a Ferrari. It's a push start, I don't need a car key. Slide on Broadway, and it's gnarly on a late night, but I'm not tardy. Right on time for the parties and Barbies. Strolling with a chunk of green like a golf swing. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like a toy so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like a toy so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Come and kiss me up, it's going down like a train with no brakes, I'm not slowing down. See us showing up, we're showing out. Better pack it in till they kick us out. I'm no nailing them, I'm a lunatic. It's no telling when I get loose a bit. Got my